I had a video on here talking about educational myths and talked about David Rees as being the author, and according to his response on Twitter, I had some false information about him, etc. So I pursued it, and definitely I erred in that. What I learned from a review is that he put up a request on a blog for individuals to respond, and in a little bit he had about 26 myths about education, but they aren't his ideas, it seems. And he wasn't, of course, saying the things that I said about him in the video, so I apologize for that. I took down the video, that's all I could do. And I pursued it a little further, and there's another author who really deals with this. It's Alfie Kuhn, and in his book Myths, or her book on educational myths, homework myths, the myths about homework, it has three parts. The first part, the truth about homework. The second part, 6 reasons homework persists despite what the data say, and restoring sanity. Now, in the first section, it talks about missing out on their childhoods. Does homework improve learning? A fresh look at the evidence. Does homework provide non-academic benefits? And 6 reasons why homework persists. Studies show, or do they? The question left unasked. What we haven't learned about learning. The tougher standard fad hits home. Better get used to it. Idle hands. And lastly, restoring sanity, rethinking homework, and making changes. Now, I haven't been able to read this book, so just from the topics, I'm getting a little idea, but I'm not going to pursue that. However, in the restoring sanity part, he talks about rethinking homework. I don't know if he means that to stop it or to improve it, and talks about making changes. Now, I know that the French president, Mr. Holland, he was thinking in terms of abolishing homework, and I know from substitute teaching here in America, some students told me that they haven't done any homework, but yet they're in the honor roll. And I'm not sure it's the official policy in America, and I guess each state and each county and so on might have different, a school district might have different ways or whatever, but still I want to make a discussion about homework, especially coming from a culture in which homework is a very important part. In the British system, the folks who could go to Oxford, London, Cambridge, University of West Indies, or any university, are those who will succeed by 15 or so, 16, 17, a certain standard we have. At 15, they write the GCO level. At least you have to pass 5 to consider pass, including math and English. And then you go on to do advanced level, 2 more years in high school, in which you will do 4 subjects, or how many ever you want to use. But if you want to go to London, you have to do 4, and you have to score real high to get in spaces, and so it's limited and so competitive. But in this Alfie work here, talks about missing out on childhood, and does homework improve learning, and does homework provide non-academic benefits? And I will say I have a different experience in that. Of course, poor folks who don't have an environment at home that is conducive, many of them can't do the homework that is required to really get to Oxford, London, and Cambridge, or provide the quality of work that is required. And so those who have the means, or sometimes you have some poor folks who do it, share hard work. They whatever resources they have, they stretch it and they get it done. But even in college, what happens is that homework is a sort of and school activity and behaviors is a precursor to what's happening in the real world. And I know that when you spend an hour in school, studying a subject, maybe you need 3 or 4 to really um, do extra work to get it done. And I know that I told many students here that we get up sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 to start some homework, and they're amazed at that. And some other students, you don't see them out at all. The only time you see them is when they're going to school. They're in home studying all the time because they want to get to Oxford, London, or Cambridge. I mean, they're going to sacrifice how many years? 18 years? No, 12 years. And for the rest of their life, they're going to be set. But many of them continue this attitude that they've developed and continue research and doing other things. And Dr. Rees and some others, they're suggesting nevertheless that there should be a creative way of doing homework in which 5 minutes after, at least 5 minutes or whatever, after having done some homework, getting feedback, it's kind of helpful. And many times folks are reinforcing the wrong things instead of the right things and so forth. But the way I see homework is this, or what we do is this. Say like math, for example. In school they teach you the principle of this chapter here. And you go home and you work on all the problems in that chapter. So that with more practice you're getting more competent at that principle. Same thing with say history. In the class period with questions and other things, and some students absent and they have to wait back for the others and so forth. When you read at home, you could go it over, sometimes go back from the beginning and coming up again, reading what is for tomorrow, and sometimes even going into the future work. So homework has its place as I see it. The memorization, etc., you just can't do that in class. Sometimes while walking to school you have your cards and you're memorizing the chemical, the charts with the various chemicals and metals and so on. And you're discussing the history as you're going down the road with your friends, etc. What I know is that Canada and America, and perhaps Europe, people from India, as we could see, and Hong Kong, they're doing well. They come out here and the scholars, etc., because they're bringing that same attitude up here. And many times the students who hadn't the opportunity or the home wasn't conducive to, real good scholarship and so on, doing homework, etc., when they come to America and they go to school here, they try to find the environment is better, it's different, and they do what they should have been doing back home. They spend the time, they study, and they're on the on roll and so on. I recall though when I was working on a bachelor's in Jacksonville, Florida, we had a project, and I would call up some people on a holiday or on a Sunday, and it's like, oh, they're mad. I mean, listen, man, I'm not interested in that right now. Talk about that another time. But I'm, thinking about it all the time. Even subconsciously, it's there because I want to understand it real good, and I want to be able to do a whole bunch of different things with it. And so I again must apologize to Dr. David Rees for having characterized his work, which wasn't his, and causing him to respond. And he talked about the personal attacks, etc. And I hope that this here clarifies it, that he sees where I'm coming from. Thanks.